They handed it to me, and I was just like, oh my god. Yo, what's up everybody? I hope everybody's having an awesome day today. Before I even get started on this video, I want to say I know this is a weird angle, but the sun, I use natural lighting in my videos, as y'all know, but the sun is not trying to cooperate with me, so this is the best that I can do. But anyway, this video is going to be my labor and delivery story. A lot of people, well, I'm not going to say a lot of people, like it's just like a lot of people asked me to do this video, but no, a couple of people asked me to do this video on my Instagram and on some of my old videos, because I've been posting her on Facebook and Instagram, if y'all follow me on there. So first off, I'm going to show y'all Miss Gabrielle Ayana Rose Cheever. That's the baby's name. So I'm going to show y'all her really quickly. She's sleeping right now. Yes, my little poop poop. She is 3 weeks now. She was born June 2nd at 6:19 p.m. and she was 9 pounds. Yes, honey, she was 9 pounds and 20 inches. She was 9 pounds on the dot, and she was 20 inches long. Someone is washing dishes in the kitchen, so I apologize if you can hear that. I hope you can't hear it, but if you can, I'm sorry. It started off on June 3rd. It was June 3rd, and I was going to my last OB visit because her due date was June. No, I'm saying it wrong. It was June 1st, not June 3rd. I'm sorry. But it was June 1st, and it was my last OB visit, and it was a Thursday. And so I went in, and they checked my blood pressure, and my blood pressure was a little bit on the high side. So I go in, and my blood pressure was a little bit on the high side the week before as well, and they were just telling me, watch out for headaches and swollen hands and feet and all that stuff, because I could have preeclampsia. And so I went in, did the appointment and everything, and then she was like, we're going to check your blood pressure again to see what it's like on right now, if it's still high or whatever. And so they checked it again, and it was still high. And so they told me that they wanted to send me to the hospital. They had already called ahead and told them that I was coming. So we went to the hospital, and first off, let me just say that my first nurse, I hated her. I hated her. Like, I'm such a nice person, but y'all, this lady, I don't know what her deal was, or what, if she was new or whoever, whatever, but no, honey, she should not be a nurse. And I'm sorry if that offends some people out there, but this lady should not be a nurse. Sorry, not sorry. So anyways, she checked my blood pressure, and it was still on the high side, and she was like, okay, I'm going to go let the doctor know, and she's going to decide if she wants to keep you or not. And I said, okay. So she said, she came back, and she was like, she said that she does want to induce you, because I had not dilated throughout my whole pregnancy. Every time they checked me, it was just soft. It wasn't dilated at all. She said, okay, I'm going to take your blood. I'm going to get this thing going. So first off, whenever she tried to take my blood, the first time, I guess the vein popped, or she didn't pick a good vein, or whatever the case may be, and blood went everywhere. Like, it was all in my nails, it was all in my arm, it was all in my hand. Like, miss, are you new? Like, no. So anyways, fast forward to that, to whenever they're inserting, until she inserted the medicine that was supposed to soften my cervix. And I don't exactly remember what any of the medicines were called. Let me just go ahead and say that. I don't remember what any of the medicines were called. So she inserted, and then as she was putting it in, she was like, oh, I lost it, and she starts digging around to try to find it and insert it the proper way. Y'all, that was so mother freaking painful. That was painful, like, to the point I was like squeezing the rail, like tears swelling up in my eyes, like I'm about to kick this lady in the face, because she is just like digging around in there like it's no tomorrow. And it hurt, but she finally got it in there, finally. And I sent Chris home to go get our hospital bags, because we were going to be staying, obviously. And I was super happy that they were going to induce me, because one, I was over being pregnant. Like, y'all, I had been doing everything in my power to get this little nug out of me. Like, I was walking up and down in the pool. I was walking on the treadmill in the gym. I had bought a bouncy ball. I was bouncing on my bouncy ball. I was eating spicy foods. Like, I was doing everything I could to get her out, like, safely, like, to throw myself into labor. Nothing was working. So I was like, good, like, please induce me. And even if they weren't, I was gonna be like, can you just do it anyway? Because, like, I think she wants me to stop talking so she can sleep. She's getting frustrated and upset with me. But I was gonna be like, my due date is tomorrow anyway. Like, just please just induce me. But they ended up doing it anyway. So 2 hours goes by and I start feeling a little crampy. And the cramps start getting worse and worse and worse. And they told me that it wasn't supposed to throw me into labor. Like, it wasn't the pectin or the pike. It starts with a P. I know that. I don't remember the name, but I know it starts with a P. And so, it's going, it's going. Hours are going by, and I start, like, it starts being, like, excruciatingly painful. And, like, it's like the contractions are coming time after time after, like, I wasn't getting a break. Like, it was, how you say, like, oh, time your contractions because, you're going to get a little break in between. No. I was not getting any kind of a break of any sort or anything like that. Like, it was just, like, straight painful. And so I start asking, and I'm like, okay, can I get some sleep medicine? I was, like, shaking in the bed. Like, I was shaking and crying. Like, I wasn't like, oh my God. Like, some people, like, I'm not trying to make fun of anyone or anything like that because it is excruciatingly painful, and I did want to do that. I'm just not that kind of person to do that. But it is that painful that you do want to scream and cry and yell and act a fool. Trust me. But, so at this point, they had switched nurses. I don't remember what time, but they had switched nurses. And my second nurse, I loved her. Like, she was, like, my favorite nurse one of my favorite nurses throughout the entire process. But I just remember, like, laying in the bed, like, before I had anything, shaking and crying. And Chris's mom was just, like, rubbing my arm. And I just remember thinking, her hand is so soft and so warm. Like, I hope she never stops rubbing my arm. Like, just trying to take my pain, just trying to take my mind off the pain, you feel me? And so I'm finally like, can I have some sleep medicine? Like, because I know they're not going to give me an epidural that early. So I'm like, can I have some sleep medicine? Because that's how I am when I'm, like, on my period. Like, I will take an 800 ibuprofen, an 800 mg ibuprofen, and I'll take some Z-Quil, and I will knock out. Do you hear me? Like, I just want to put myself in a coma and just let it ride, because my period cramps are the worst. Like, can't go to school, can't go to work, like, on the bathroom floor throwing up. Yes, that bad. I'm like, can I have some sleep medicine? So they give me the sleep medicine. It's not working fast enough. And then they're like, okay, we're gonna give you something to put in your IV. It's not pain medicine, but it's just gonna make you a little bit loopy. And so I'm like, anything, I don't care. So I guess not the pain medicine, but the loopy medicine mixed with the sleep medicine, y'all, I was gone. I was gone. Like, the only time I woke up was whenever they came to fix my blood pressure thing, or whenever they were to check me to see if I was dilated or whatever. And so, because that medicine had thrown me into labor. And so she was like, yeah, if she's in that much pain, like, she might be in labor. So they took the medicine out, and they're like, okay, well, we don't have to give you the other medicine anymore because you're already in labor. So time goes on, and I'm sleeping. Like, y'all, that medicine, it had me on something different. Like, in my head, like, there was, like, a country western white family that was, like, helping me through my contractions. Like, they were like, okay, they're about to come in and check your blood pressure thing now. Like, just stay calm, just stay sleeping, don't wake up, like, don't get up too much because you don't want to wake up and start, it's going to be painful. So they're, like, trying to help me through it and stuff like that. And so, yeah, it had me on some other. But anyway, time goes on, and then another nurse comes in. I don't exactly remember what time it is because, again, this is, like, in the middle of the night or early morning or whatever, and I'm sleeping. So I don't exactly remember the times of all this stuff, so forgive me. But another nurse came in and she's like, okay, do you want your epidural now? And I'm like, I can get it now? Like, I can get it? Yes, gimme. But then again, I'm like, is it gonna wear off by the time, you know, it's time for me to push? You know, that's the thing I was worried about. I was like, I really don't want to feel me pushing this baby out. So she was like, no, it doesn't work like that, blah, blah, blah. You can get it now. And I'm like, okay, good, let me get it. So, y'all, after the epidural, I was good. I was good. Do you hear me? I had no problem. Like, after that, I was good. And so, you know, at this point, I think it was like at 4 in the morning. I want to say 4 or 5 in the morning, maybe more. I don't exactly remember, but I know it was early in the morning. And I kind of stayed up because I had been sleeping that whole time. And then they did their shift change, and then my first nurse switched out, and I was like, oh, like, I'm gonna miss you, like, I really like you. And she was like, oh, I like you too. Like, I really liked her. She was really sweet, she was really nice. And she told Chris's mom, she was like, we're like some of the best like set of patients that she's had. Because, you know, some people, like, and I do want to say this, like, y'all, like, even though you're in pain, like, you're in pain or whatever, like, it's not the nurse's fault. Like, you knew you were going to be in pain or whatever. Like, don't be rude, don't be mean, just try to be, like, the best person that you can. Like, I know I was, like, in excruciating pain, but I was still respectful, I was still nice, because I know she probably has other patients that she has to wait on. And, you know, like, you just want to be respectful, you just want to be nice. Like, even though I wasn't, she was like, I'm sorry you're in pain. I was just like, I know, like, it's not your fault, like, it's okay, like, I'm just trying to, like, get through it, you know, like, just trying to, like, just be respectful, you know. But yeah, so, you know, my new nurse came in the morning time, and it was time for a shift change. And she was like, I was like, you know, bye. I was kind of sad. But the next lady, like, she was really sweet too. And she was like checking me and all that stuff. She was like, oh, you know, you're dilated. She's like, we're gonna she was like, did your water break? And I was like, I don't know, like, I don't know. And so they had checked the fluid under me, and she was like, okay, your water did break. And I was, so we don't have to break it for you. And I was like, great, like, because I don't know how that feels, like, I don't know how people say that feels or whatever, but I assume that it will be painful or very uncomfortable. So I was like happy. So my delivery, well, my labor at this point is going nicely. Like, the only thing that was super horrible was the contractions, and that's bound to happen anyway. Like, you're gonna have really bad contractions. Hello, you're in labor, duh. Then, you know, that nurse, she got called in to do a C-section, so I had to get another nurse, and she was like really sweet too. So all three of these nurses were like super sweet. So this nurse right here, she's the one that helped me through my delivery. And you know, you can't eat anything, so y'all, I was sucking them popsicles down. Like, those they had these like lemonade Italian ices, like these Luigi's Italian ices. Y'all, I was tearing them down, them and them popsicles and some water. What? And I hadn't eaten like the day before. Like, I didn't, because Chris kept asking me, he was like, what do you want to eat, what do you want to eat? And I was like, I cannot eat right now. Like, I'm in so much pain, I cannot even think about eating right now. And so so I hadn't eaten since like earlier the day before, at like 1 in the afternoon yesterday. I hadn't eaten, so I was tearing them down. I was dilating like progressively. I was dilating really well. Like, every time they came to check me, I was at least another centimeter or two along the way. And so they predicted that I was going to start delivering at 12:30 p.m. June 2nd. So because at around like 11:30ish, I was 9 centimeters. So I have been, you know, doing pretty well in that department, and as far as dilating. And you know, every time she came to check me after that, I was still at 9. So I was stuck at 9 centimeters for a really, really long time. Finally, at around like 5:50, she was like, I'm going to come back in here in 10 minutes, and it's going to be time, because, you know, you're going to be. So she checked me. I was 10 centimeters. She was like, okay, like, it's time. And before then, like, she was like, give me a big push, give me a big push. And I was like doing some pushes and stuff like that. She was like trying to get me to, you know, give me time. Like, she would come in, let's say at like 3. She came in at probably like 3 p.m. and she was like, give me a big push, you know. and you know, she would leave, and she's like, okay, I'm gonna come back in about an hour, and we're gonna do it again. And pretty much she told me that she was like, I want you to have a really easy delivery. Like, I don't want you to be pushing for hours and hours and hours. Like, so we're just going to do this every few, whatever. And I'm really thankful that she did that, because that was, like, really sweet. Like, I really could have been pushing. Like, if she was one of those impatient nurses, they were just like, come on, like, let's just get this baby out. Like, let's just do this. I could have been pushing for a very long time, and it would have been, you know, very stressful and all that. So she was just giving time for Gabi to drop down and me, you know, get it together naturally. At around like 6, she was like, okay, let's do this. So then Chris comes up, and he's like holding my legs, and she's like, you know, hold your legs, put your chin to your chest, and just push. And so I was giving like 3 big pushes for 10 seconds every time. I was pushing, and then, you know, she's like, there's the head, like, do you see the top of the head? And Chris was like, he was like looking, and like, I seen a video when I was in 10th grade of this one. I'm almost finished. I'm almost finished. I seen a video in 10th grade, and this woman was giving birth, and I couldn't watch. I was like, oh my god. Oh, I cannot do this. So but yeah, he was just like just looking around, like it was just nothing. But so, you know, I'm pushing, and the head is like, you know, like about right there. And y'all, it didn't hurt. I didn't feel anything. I could just feel the pressure. So she calls the doctor, and, you know, she's like, okay, come on, push. So, you know, we're pushing, I'm pushing. And then she asked me, it was like almost there, and like at this point, I'm not tired or anything like that, but I'm trying to, like, you know, just catch my breath, and I'm trying to just get her out. I'm anxious to get her out. I'm ready to see her, and I'm ready for this to be over, because the pressure was like uncomfortable. Like, it didn't hurt, it was just very uncomfortable. So, and then she's like, do you want to see her? Like, she's halfway out. She's like, do you want to see her? Yeah, we can grab a mirror, you can see her. And I'm just like, no, get her out. Like, word for word, I was just like, no, get her out. Like, just get her out of me, please. And so, like, everyone's laughing, and I'm like, it's not funny. I didn't say that, but in my head, I'm like, oh my god, it's not funny. So anyways, she was like, okay, one more big push. And like, she was like, push, like, this is like the last time you want to push. So y'all, I'm pushing my stomach out at this point. Like, I'm trying to push at my insides out. And she came out, and I could just feel like I could just feel her come out. And y'all, I started bawling. Do you hear me? Like, I was bawling. Like, I think I was crying more than Gabi. And they handed it to me, and I was just like, oh my god, like, she is so pretty. Like, she's so pretty, she's so beautiful. Like, and I was in awe in that moment. Like, I could not stop crying. Like, I couldn't stop crying. It was so amazing. And I was just so happy. I was only pushing for about like 20 minutes, I would say. 20 minutes. So I wasn't pushing for very long. And I know I hear some stories, people are like, I was pushing for like 3 hours. I was pushing for 4 and 5 hours. Like, no. Once it would have hit like 45 minutes, I would have been like, a C-section, pronto. And that was pretty much, you know, it. After that, another nurse came in. You know, she helped me clean up down there, put me in a wheelchair. She put me into the recovery room. We left the next day. We left I think that's why I keep saying June 3rd. Okay, so I have to make this outro quick because my storage was kind of messing up on me. Oh, and Pootie's awake. I'm showing it to you guys while she's awake. Say, hey, Pootie. Yeah, she's not in the mood. She just woke up. She is truly her mama's child. But, anyways, we stayed there for like a day. They kicked me out the next day. I delivered on June 2nd. They kicked me out on June 3rd. So, yes, that was my labor and delivery story. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. And this makeup is by yours truly. So, I don't want to merge this into a beauty channel. But if you guys do want to see, you know, how I do my curly hair routine, how I straighten my hair, how I did this look, how I do other looks and things like that, then just let me know. I kind of want this to be a universal channel. I want this to be a universal channel. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, do all that goodness, and I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye.